when I think of greenhouse, I don't think of craft. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a magical start to your week. Today we're learning all about a beloved filler attraction, living with the land. So grab your breakfast, grab your makeup. Let's get ready for our week together. Off to the story. All right, so living with the land can basically be broken down into two separate parts. The first part being a part dark ride, and the second part is basically a greenhouse tour. On the tour, the guests can learn all about the latest and greatest in agricultural technologies. It's actually so cool. The greenhouse uses hydroponics and all sorts of other cool agricultural advancements. Well, how did we get this relaxing boat ride that the whole family loves? Well, our story first begins before Epcot even opened. When the Imagineers began developing the main attraction for the land pavilion, they had a different idea in mind originally. To start, the ride was actually supposed to be called the Blueprints of Nature and was actually set to be a suspended dark ride. Now, suspended dark ride is, if you think of Peter Pan's flight where you're suspended, that's what it is. On the ride, guests would encounter a character named the Landkeeper. Now, the Landkeeper would take the guests on a hot air balloon journey through the 4 seasons. Wow, honestly, I love that idea. And personally, it does kind of remind me of Soarin' a bit, you know? Little bit. Obviously, the ride that I just mentioned didn't actually come to fruition. Fun fact, if you look up, you could see hot air balloons inspired by the 4 seasons in the main area of the land pavilion. Anyways, you see what had actually happened was Kraft signed on to be the sponsor for the ride. Yep, the mac and cheese that your kids know and love. That Kraft. Well, Kraft came in and they decided that they actually wanted to do a boat ride. The Landkeeper character that I also mentioned earlier didn't make the cut, but I wouldn't feel too bad for him. That character actually turned into the Dreamfinder, which could be found in the Imagination Pavilion. It's not there anymore, but he had a good run. Kraft liked the park dark ride, park greenhouse vibe, and worked with the Imagineers to really bring that concept to life. Crazy. When I first started researching this ride, I did not expect Kraft to be in the research. I mean, it makes sense. A lot of rides do have sponsors. It's just, I don't know, for some reason when I think of greenhouse, I don't think of Kraft. Maybe it's just me. Listen to the Land opened on Epcot's opening day on October 1st, 1982. That's right, you heard me correct. Listen to the Land. When the ride first opened, it was obviously called Listen with the Land, and it featured its own song as well. The dark ride portion of the ride is actually different than the one that we have today. The ride originally opened with Symphony of a Seed, which took guests along a journey of plant growth. Symphony of a Seed would stay open until about 1992, which was also when Kraft ended their sponsorship. Another quick fun fact is that when the ride first debuted, cast members would actually narrate the entire attraction. I'm thinking kind of similar to like a Jungle Cruise vibe, but without so many jokes and stuff like that. In addition, Listen to the Land showed guests a large spinning drum located inside the Creative House. The drum featured lettuce and spun to mimic Earth's gravity in space. In 1993, Nestle came in as the ride's newest sponsor, and the ride underwent a refurbishment. Listen to the Land reopened in 1993 as Living with the Land, and with the natural habitats and thunderstorm theme that we know and love today. The ride also got a new soundtrack as well. Nestle would go on and keep their sponsorship till about 2009. Just before, in 2006, a pre-recorded recorded narration by Michael Brassel was added to the ride, and cast narrations for this particular ride became extinct. You might recognize this voice because at one point, Mike Brassel actually narrated the People Mover over in Magic Kingdom. No longer the voice today, but he was there at some point. While the rest of the audio from Listen to the Land has been removed, there's actually one place you can hear it, an instrumental version of it today. If you visit Garden Grill for a character meal, you can actually hear the instrumental music while you're dining there. So you might be wondering, well, who sponsors the ride today? Well, in 2011, Chiquita Brands came in as the newest sponsor, and they still remain the sponsor today. Fun fact that you may not know is available to you, but you can actually get a tour of the greenhouse in the behind the scenes tour. I've personally done the tour and I absolutely loved it. If you're interested, I can link the video of me going to the behind the scenes tour down below. It has a little bit more information than what I'm about to provide you. So the tour itself is only about $35 and it only takes about an hour of your time. You get to walk through the greenhouse, do a bunch of different activities, learn about all things hydroponics. It's really quite cool. Anyways, back to the ride. This ride is honestly one of my favorites in Epcot. Like, I feel like I always end up on it at some point. Like many Disney rides, there's actually a lot of fun Easter eggs that you can watch out for while you're riding the attraction. The first Easter egg to look out for is actually in the farm scene. When you go past the house, on the mailbox, the number is 82. Now, the Imagineers did this on purpose because Epcot opened when in 1982. Kind of fun. Now, did you know that there are actually 35 animatronics on the Living with the Land ride? I had no idea. That's actually a lot, I feel like. The buffalo and prairie dog animatractions actually weren't built for Living with the Land. It was actually built for an attraction called Western River Expedition over in Magic Kingdom. Obviously that ride never came to fruition, but the Imagineers didn't want to just waste those animatronics that they had. So they stored them, and then they were able to use it in Living with the Land. Another side fun fact is that the Western River Expedition actually was utilized for Pirates of the Caribbean instead. Pirates is actually my favorite ride, so I'm thrilled that it's there. So let me ask you this. What does Living with the Land, Carousel of Progress, and Pirates all have in common? The dog! The animatronic dog used on all three attractions is actually, if you look at the dog, actually looks really similar to one another, and this dog was based off of Walt Disney's own dog. So cute! I love little facts like that. Another fun fact is you can actually eat the produce that is grown in the greenhouses. One place you can enjoy the produce is right in the Land Pavilion at Sunshine Seasons and at Garden Grill. Now that we are on the topic of the greenhouses, I want to talk specifically about the biomes. Now, the biomes were created to basically reflect the three natural habitats that these crops would ordinarily be found in. Sound and lighting technology helped create these different environments. The environments were rainforest, desert, and prairie. Artificial wind, heat, and mist are actually used throughout the attraction to simulate, again, that environment that the crops know and love. Plants are grown in sand, perlite, coconut coir, and rockawool. Sorry if I mispronounced any of those. I think I got them right, but I'm not sure. When riding the attraction, the boat will actually take you across 5 greenhouses in total, also known as the Living Laboratory. First, we'll visit the Tropics greenhouse, where you'll see all things, well, tropical. You'll see fruits you may know and some more exotic ones as well. Some examples are bananas, dragon fruit, and pineapple. Next up, we're going to the Aqua Cell, or as it's more commonly known as, fish farming. Here the boat will pass through some tanks of fish. You could see things like catfish and shrimp, and you may even see some bass. Fun fact, you can actually feed the fish on the behind the scenes tour. Love that part, so fun. The third greenhouse you're going to encounter is the temperate greenhouse. This is also known as the desert greenhouse. This will feature crops like pumpkins and cotton, and maybe even some sunflowers. The fourth greenhouse is actually my favorite, and it is the string greenhouse, also known as the production greenhouse. This particular greenhouse focuses on nutrient film techniques or high density techniques. So while you're there, you might see some plants growing a bit funky. That's because this greenhouse features vertical growing techniques. The most popular plant in this particular greenhouse is the tomato plant. Now, this particular tomato plant has produced 32,000 tomatoes in a 16-month period, which is absolutely bonkers to think about. That plant was even recognized by the Guinness World Records as the most productive plant in the world. This is also the greenhouse where cucumbers and pumpkins are grown in the shape of Mickey Mouse via molding. The crops you see here are actually the ones that you can eat in the pavilion, like at Sunshine Seasons and at Garden Grill. The final greenhouse you're going to encounter is the creative greenhouse. This is where plants are grown via aeroponics. Basically, aeroponics is when a fine mist of water and nutrients comes together and is sprayed at the roots. So the roots are actually dangling in the air. You see them, it's like kind of cute. During the holiday season, this ride actually gets a holiday overlay called Living with the Land Glimmering Greenhouses. The dark ride portion of the ride actually does stay the same, but I would love to see like Santa hats on the prairie dogs. That'd be so cute. Anyways, the greenhouses are enhanced with lighting and holiday decorations. The narration is also changed slightly. It describes how the foods produced in greenhouses are used in holiday celebrations across the world. I highly recommend riding this attraction on your next trip to Epcot. This attraction is available on Genie Plus, but honestly, I don't recommend using Genie Plus on this particular attraction. This is actually an amazing, relaxing filler attraction while you're waiting on other Genie Plus attractions like Soarin' or maybe Remy over in France. The ride is about 15 minutes in duration and can accommodate approximately 1,600 people per hour. There are around 16 vehicles or boats, and each boat can seat about 40 individuals. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's story. This is the final look of today. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss a Magical Makeup Monday again. Until next time, friends, I hope you have a magical rest of your week, and I will see you all later. Bye!